going to portray the template or the structure we have learned together, and you're going to respond to the question by giving your opinion and also arguing in favor of your position, okay, as we did yesterday, and we talked at the beginning of this week. Okay, so we are ready. Let us go. I'm going to share my screen with you, and let us enter the simulator, right? Here we are. Give me a sec. Great. So let me show you the question, which is great. All right. Here we are. Independent essay. Awesome. So here you have it. This is the essay. So, well, in this case, we practiced this one yesterday. Of course, we're not going to use it. All right. Give me a sec. This one. Okay. So here you have it. I'm going to paste it to the chat box and also here to the WhatsApp groups, all right? For you to have this. There you are, and there you are. And let us read it together, okay? The question for your essay tonight is the following. When schools do not have enough funding or teachers, some people think physical education classes should be cut, while others believe that courses in art and music should be eliminated first. Which do you think is preferable and why? That's the question, okay? So as you can see, you have to give your opinion whether you believe that sport classes should be canceled or music and art classes first, okay? So which of these ones you believe? You have the template that we shared some classes ago, and now please, the last thing we have to do together is to enter here our Google Documents, okay? Give me a sec. All right, so for those of you who are just entering the class, I have pasted the topics for our essays tonight. Here you have the topic for tonight's class. The essay is going to be responding to this question, okay? Listen, when schools do not have enough funding or teachers, some people think physical education classes should be cut, while others believe that courses in art and music should be eliminated first. Which do you think is preferable and why? So you have to respond to this question in your essay, write into it, and responding, of course, to this question by offering your opinion, saying what you think, which of these classes should be eliminated first. Then you're going to argue with arguments and illustrations why is it that you are right and people who believe the contrary to your case are wrong, okay? So last thing we have to do together, I'm going to assign to each of you a Google document, okay? So if you scroll down a little bit to your groups, well, actually, I'm going to resend them once again for you to have more facilities. Like this. All right. Okay, I'm going to send this once again to you. So here you have it, here you have it, here you have it. Beautiful. So notice that in your WhatsApp groups, I have pasted once again the Google Documents, okay? So listen very carefully. I'm going to assign one of these to each of you, and then you're going to start writing your essays, okay? So listen, please. The student Andres Uribe, you, Andres, are going to get the Google document that says first, okay? This one is going to be yours. Here, you're going to write down your essay tonight. Then Lucia Serrano, Lucia, you get the second one, okay? You're going to write down your essay here. The one that says second group is yours. Then we have Daniela Crespo. Daniela, you get the third one, the one that says third group. David Uribe, you get the fourth one, the one that says fourth is yours, okay? David Uribe gets the one that says fourth. Then Flavia, you get the one that says fifth, okay? The number 5 is for you. So there you have it. Jasmine is going to get the number 6. The one that says 6th is yours, Jasmine. Then Lenny, you get the number 7. Okay, so Lenny, you write in the one that says 7th. Then Karen Artiaga, Karen, you get the number 8. Okay, that's yours, number 8. Then Karen Rojas, okay, Karen Rojas gets the number 9, the one that says 9. Okay, Karen Rojas, that's yours. And finally, Rodrigo Duran gets the one that says 10. Okay, so Rodrigo, you get the one that says 10. Well, that's all actually. All of you now have your Google Documents. So please, I'm going to break out the room right now, and each of you is going to have a separate room. okay, just for yourself. There you're going to write down your essay. You're going to have 30 minutes. You know what to do. We have discussed this in class. And when the 30 minutes are over, I'm going to call you back, okay, so that we can review your essays. Now, remember, I'm going to send you because more people are going to get into the reunion. I don't have to explain this again, and I want to perturbate you, all right? So please, let's enter. I'm going to let you have your invitations, all right, to the breakout rooms. And once you enter, please, your breakout rooms, start writing your essay because the chronometer is going to already be counting and your 30 minutes will be starting, okay? So please go to your breakout rooms, and once you enter, start writing your essays. See you very soon.
Um, Hello, how you doing? Um, just a question. You
Okay,
signed me
tell me.
in the link number 4, but right now it's asking me to join to the room number 9.
Okay, that's okay.
So it's
Yeah,
just
it's
it's just a
independent.
room. It's just a room in the Zoom, right?
Yes, exactly. It's just a room. Don't worry.
Oh
She's
yeah.
just gonna
Oh,
read it.
okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And just a question. Why
Mm-hmm.
we just have to like write an essay about the topic you sent, right? It's because we weren't yesterday, so
Oh
I
yes.
got a little bit lost.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, but did you have the opportunity to watch the videos that we uploaded to YouTube discussing this essay?
Yeah, yeah, I've looked for them, but there weren't a lot uploaded yet.
Okay. All right. Oh yes. Well, fantastic. So yeah, you have to write down an essay. Let me show it to you. I'm gonna
I mean,
send.
I
Okay.
I I saw the links, but I don't really
Yes.
get it.
Yes. 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 No, it's okay. Don't worry. Yeah, I know that you have not been
Yeah, yeah.
present.
Sorry about it.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. So let me send something to you. I know this is going to be very helpful. Um, Here you have in your WhatsApp group. I'm pasting this. Is the template for this essay. Okay, this essay is very simple to write. By the way, when you open that document, you're going to notice it. It's simply an essay discussing your opinion on the topic you just read about. Okay, the topic that I let you have, right? In this case, whether the sport classes or art classes should be cut first if there were some sort of diminishments in the funds for people to study. So how do you write down this essay? You have to first of all make an introduction, okay? And you have to mention two facts that support your opinion. In this type of essays, you always have to get just one opinion. You cannot write down essays like in the middle ground response. You know what I mean? Like trying to defend two different positions. Always go for one particular side. And you have to defend that side throughout your essay. It is as if you were debating somebody. You know what debates are, right? We have to discuss your ideas and share what you think. Imagine this essay to be like that, like as if you were debating somebody. So in your introduction, you write down two different facts that support your opinion. And once you write down accordingly, here you state your opinion, what you think, what is your position on this topic. If you have any question about how these sentences work, this template, you can scroll down a little bit and you're going to find out an essay that I wrote using the template for you to understand more or less what these sentences mean and how can you use them, okay? But as I said, it's just that introduction. And then in the body, you simply offer two arguments for defending your position, right? Because it's not just about saying what you think, but also defending it. So in this case, you simply get right. So my first argument for thinking the way I think is this one. Let's say that you want sport classes to be cut. So you say, first, I think that way because first, a sport is not necessary for human development, whatever, right? You just think about the argument. And then you continue complementing. And here, in this part, you notice that there is a connector here that's exemplifying. And this connector exemplifying, what you do is to, um, yeah. So Flavia wants me to send her back. Yeah, I'm gonna send you, Flavia, just give me a second. Um, okay, there you are. So I was telling you, David, that here, exemplifying, right? And when you write on this, exemplifying, what you do is um, to enter, okay, like as an illustration. So, for example, imagine that you said that sports are not actually relevant for human development. So, when you come into this part, you say, exemplify. When I was, I don't know, 18 years old, I never had a worry about my physical state because I thought that the most important part in human development is to, I don't know, get a career, to be very well proficient in English or something like that, right? You talked about yourself, giving an illustration with your own life. And it's exactly the same for the second paragraph. You say, furthermore, your second argument, my second argument for saying that sports should be cut first is that sports are dangerous for people. Then you complement, you complement. And here, when you come to this part to illustrate, once again, you give another story of your life to exemplify this. For example, when I was 5 years old, I was skating with my cousins. And because we didn't have any care about it, I just broke my leg, right? Something like that. And I was at the hospital for 2 weeks and my mother was super mad at me, something like that. You illustrate that with your own life. It must be a very personal illustration. When you finalize that, the two arguments and the two illustrations for each of these arguments, you come to the conclusion. And the conclusion, as you can see, it's some sort of word of counseling you give. Here you can advise people to do something. So for example, if the topic was about sports, you could say, well, to conclude, I would like to advise people to avoid entering and enrolling their children to sport classes because they are dangerous and they could, and you continue, right? So as I say, it's a very simple essay. Here you have the template, the structure. And if you have any question or doubt with regard to how to use the sentences, you can always go down and you're gonna find this example that shows you how to use these sentences. Do you have any question about this?
No, no, completely got it. Thank you very much. And sorry that you had to like explain everything again.
No, it's my pleasure. Don't worry.
All
Here to
right, so
collaborate.
we just have to like write this essay as the like reflecting the topic you sent, right?
Exactly.
And
The
that'll
topic in
be
this
it in
case.
30 minutes.
Exactly. You have 30 minutes for writing an essay
All right.
responding to this question, right? When schools do not have enough funding for teachers, what should be cut first, not repasted? And what you have to do is to write down at least 300 words, okay? The idea here is that the minimum quantity of words required for the essay is 300. If you write down more than that, fantastic, of course, but in 30 minutes, you have to come up with 300 at least, okay?
Okay.
So yeah, it will be pretty much that.
Okay, and just a final question. Do I have to use like the same connections? I mean, the same connectors that I use, like, however, or exemplifying? Do I have to use them, like,
Mhm.
or I could I change them?
Oh, you can change it, of course. If you feel more comfortable with any other type of connector or phrase, absolutely, you're absolutely free to change it to your own comfort. And those connectors are just there in order for you to, have an idea of more or less what to do, right? What should be next. But yeah, you can absolutely change them. It's absolutely great.
Okay, okay, but thank you very much. I'm gonna join to the micro. Okay, thank you.
Okay, perfect. No, my pleasure. Great, guys. And actually, I'm gonna send you, okay, to breakout rooms to both of you, just in case somebody else gets into and I have to explain this again. So I'm gonna send you, okay, guys, to rooms. So go there and then you can come back later.
Sorry. Just a question before I leave. Do we have to like write the other essays? I mean, like the yesterday, because we
Um,
weren't yesterday.
no, it's okay. Just enter the link, the Google document that I assigned to you. Go to the last page, like scroll down to the last page, write down your number. In this case, Andres or David, right? You write down your number, and when you write down your number, below your number, write down this essay. The other ones are necessary. Just this one.
Okay, thank you, Carlos. Thank
My
you very
pleasure.
much.
No, my pleasure. All right, guys. Thank you. Thank you for coming back. Awesome. So let's go ahead and check out your essays. I want to read them once again. Okay. So let us start with the first essay that, let's see who wrote it in this case. Gotta check it out.
Teacher,
Yes, Andres, tell me.
I haven't finished it because you were explaining us to my brother and me,
Oh,
so
yes, you're right.
I haven't
Um,
finished. So
yeah, it's okay. So continue writing. I'm gonna come back to you then as the last participant. So continue writing as I
yes, please.
correct the
I will
drawings.
finish
Okay,
it. Okay, thank you.
great, fantastic. Very good. So let's go with number 2, and we're going to come back to Andres later. So let's go with this one. Number 2. This was Lucia's essay, if I'm not wrong. Let's see.
Yeah, teacher.
Great, awesome. So let's go with this essay. It says the following. It has been scientifically demonstrated that art can change many lives. Likewise, music and art are important as math, chemistry, and physics. Additionally, it is demonstrated that arts and music transform children and reinforce new emotions, feelings, and new human and sensitive perspective. Okay. This opinion is due to the following motives. Very good. I think it's a very good introduction. Great. First, our lessons offer the privilege to understand the theory, impact. So notice that here you are having a set of different items, right? In this case, you have a set that contains 3 items: theory, impact, and effects. So in English, when you write a set of 3 items or objects, you have to put comma as well before the end, okay? I know that in Spanish maybe it could be different, but in English, when you write a set of 3 different items or elements, you do have to enter the comma before end, okay? So just have that into consideration. It's a little thing, but very important. As a matter of fact, ancient cultures like Greeks used to taught art at school. Subsequently, the society's results in architecture, literature, theater for that time were amazing. Nowadays, children need art in their education field because art is the new refugee. Okay, is that fine? Refugee. Finally, okay, between the double word, between the stress and hyperglobalization, here with Z instead of S. Yeah. Hyperglobalization, right? Very good. On top of that, R shows here with S, right? New paradigms for children and empathy. Exemplifying, I used to have art class at school, and the professor explained me the importance of recognizing, here, recognize, reconocer, right? With gerund, beauty in the simple and daily habits. Furthermore, art and music lessons here with plural, right? Because you are later saying impose, right? Which is a verb for plural articles. Lessons impose new skills and imagination for children. In fact, art could show a big sphere where each person feels more comfortable, for example, sculpture, literature, and cinema. Additionally, art is part of the identity of each person. To illustrate, I have practiced piano since I was 12 years old. Oh, okay, no, since 12 years ago, that's fine. And I feel that music and this instrument is part of my personality and my personal identity. Fantastic, very good. To round off, I'd like to say that it is advisable that schools can mix art and sports. For example, here, dancing or gymnastics were both words, art and sports. Great.
Teacher, I couldn't finish, but yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. I noticed, but it's fine. Don't worry. But we're both words, arts, and sports. I guess you will have continue or conjunctive, right, or something like that. It's okay. Don't worry. Great. So it was a beautiful essay. Great illustrations, especially very personal, very specific. That's great. Let's see how many words you got. Okay, gotta enter my word counter. So in this case, you got 247 words. Okay, we'll have to work a little bit on that. As I told you, the minimum is 300, but it's fine. I think that we can, of course, by practicing getting more and more words, right? That is not a big deal, trust me. Great. Anyways, it was very good. Okay, let's go with the third one. Let us check out who wrote this one. Great. So this one says the following. Sports and any physical activity are more important in our lives than many people believe. Okay. Okay. Are more important in our lives than many people believe. Yeah. In fact, it does not only have a positive impact in health, but it also provides psychological gains. Accordingly, I consider that art and music should be eliminated first when schools do not have enough funding or teachers. This opinion is due to the following motives. Beautiful, great illustration, introduction, sorry. Firstly, the positive influence that physical activities have in our health is undeniable. When we are talking about kids and teenagers, it is important to mention the development of psychomotricity. As a matter of fact, every sport, activity, or game practiced in school is helping the students to work on the subject. Moreover, the regular practice of sports contributes to build stronger bones, muscles, and articulations, preventing any possible future injury. In addition, practicing physical activities will assure a great breathing capacity, avoiding risks of suffering any kind of heart disease. Beautiful. On top of that, exercising will allow students to develop mental agility, which certainly will be helpful when studying and taking exams. Great. Exemplifying, when I was a kid, my motricity was not very developed. Had many difficulties when jumping or when having to jump, and I was very slow too. You're very slow too, right? With two O's. At the age of 9, I started playing football and my life changed. It not only helped me to become more agile, but it also contributed to my self-esteem. Beautiful. Furthermore, the practice of sports is essential to create union between students. In fact, collective sports are commonly known as a source of friendship and collective support. Even though the members of the team do not know each other, good relationships appear rapidly. Beautiful. And see that you didn't have time to compliment here, but it was great. The essay until this one was beautiful. Yeah, it's very well argued. The illustration is fantastic. It's very good. Let's see how many words you got. In this case, you got 272 words, which is great. Very good. As I said, matter of practice, continuing, right? Typing things on your computer, not a big deal. Great. Number 4. Let's see what you got, guys. Okay, here we are.
Hey teacher, number 4 is mine. I'm still writing because I'm the one.
Yes.
I am David Uribe. You were explaining to me before, so I'm
yes.
just completing it. If you could go,
Okay.
and I could explain it for you later.
Yes, absolutely. Don't worry. Yes, I'm gonna skip them, your turn, and we're gonna come back to you. Okay. Great. So here we have number 5 then. Let's see who wrote this one. So we have Flavia. Okay, so let's read what Flavia wrote. It is well known that exercise plays an important role in the health and well-being of people. At the same time, exercising helps you de-stress. Beautiful. Which is why I think it is essential in schools to do physical education. Wonderful. This opinion is the result of the following motives. Great. It's a very good change there. First of all, exercise helps to make positive changes in a person that helps you with self-care. And at the same time, great. As a matter of fact, students care a lot about how they look physically and their well-being. According to a magazine, it was demonstrated that this capital letter, that it was demonstrated that that it was shown the pandemic that it was demonstrated, it was shown in the pandemic that people who perform physical activity can deal better with the virus, and at the same time, they look better. Great. Exemplifying, when I was here, coma, right? Every connector before a coma. When I was a child, my cousin never played here. I guess the D was just a blunder. Sport. Instead, I always here did, right? Because you're talking about the past, I always did, easy. Always did physical activity. So I never got here, capital letter. I never got sick, and my cousin always got sick. Great. Furthermore, I consider that exercising at least once a week helps you to see yourself better and have a better relaxation rate with yourself. It is said that exercising helps you a lot with the good academic performance. This will greatly help the emotional health of the students since they always do activities such as mathematics or physics. On the other hand, if they do some type of physical activity, they'll be distracted from that stressful environment. For example, and here you didn't finish it. Okay, this is beautiful. It's a great essay. Great essay. How many words you got? 228. Great. All of you are just about to reach the minimum. So I am very sure that with another practice, you're going to get it. Okay, very good, guys. Let's continue. Number 6. Let's see what you think about this one. Okay, it says the following. This is Jasmine's essay. So it has been scientifically demonstrated decades ago that children need to develop their creative skills. Likewise, art and music are not subjects where children judge their peers. Accordingly, physical education classes are not as relevant as courses in art and music. As a matter of fact, courses in art and music should not be eliminated. This opinion is due to the following motives. Great, beautiful illustration. First, art and music offer people the opportunity to express their feelings and emotions here, I guess you mean, right? Emotions. Through paintings or songs. As a matter of fact, when people listen to a song or look at a painting, they can perceive the artist's or singer's feelings. Namely, people can identify with lyrics of a song or inspire with a painting. According to apocryphal hearsay, every year children are less creative because schools do not give importance to the field of arts. Beautiful. On top of that, art and music offer the opportunity to develop their creative and artistic skills. Exemplifying, my sister enjoys drawing, painting, here, what I told to Lucia, right? Like, when you write a set of 3 items or 3 elements, comma also goes before the connector and. Okay, so you have to use comma there and playing the piano. But her school does not support or encourage her abilities. Never was I more flabbergasted in that day. When I realized that athletes have more support than artists. For my country, arts like music, painting, or drawing are considered a waste of time. Moreover, if you do not have money in order to enter some academy, you're not able to develop your creative and artistic skills. Great, beautiful. It's a great essay. Yeah, I know that you didn't have time to mention the second argument or the illustration, but this was wondrous until that point. Let's see how many words you got. You got 235. As I say, just about to reach it. Continue, you're gonna get it. Okay, it's fantastic. So the quality is awesome. All right, number 7. Here we go. Very good. Awesome. And I'm about to get out of battery, so I have to connect my computer. Could you guys give me 1 minute? Just have to go and connect, okay? Just a little second. Great, thank you. Okay, so we are back, and it says the following. This is Lenny's essay. First of all, funding and teachers in a school should be the priority if it wants to offer an appropriate service to students. As a matter of fact, last affirmation could be impossible or just a promise in a rural school, where the conditions are different for teachers who don't want to work under those conditions, right? Under those, because you're talking about something plural, right? Those conditions. According to apocryphal hearsay, comma, those subjects, once again, those, right? Plural. Related to physical education, art, or music are not useful in the future life. It's completely false, because all classes are useful and allow training in some personal aspect. On top of that, I totally disagree with the fact of cut any class. Cutting, right? Cutting any class. Because that is not the solution. It is important to find a way to raise funds, which allows here, right? Which allows, because raising, right? To raise the funds, the salary of teachers of all subjects to be covered and not prioritized on more than others in this stage of training. For example, when I worked in a rural school, teachers' salaries were always behind. There were complaints and discontent on their part, but no class was eliminated, so we rather worked. Was done. So I guess you mean here we rather work to convert, right? Yes, we rather worked to convert some subjects as self-sustaining due to the importance that parents and students gave to each one. For this, it was not required. So here, instead of using comma, because maybe the sentence is too long to this point, I will use semicolon here, right? And it allows you to use the exact same phrase as you are using it for this as a connector without actually changing this into capital letter, because the beauty of using semicolon is that when you use it, the next sentence that normally is a connector doesn't need to use a capital letter, but you can actually start it as if it were a normal one with lowercase, right? So I just would recommend you that. For this, it was not required to raise the amount of enrollment, only to carry out extraordinary activities that allow obtaining funds. Great. Furthermore, if the director of the school knew about the importance of comprehensive training in students, he would be unable to allow any subject to be removed from the curriculum. In fact, although some schools did, the harm done to their students was visible to posterity. Beautiful word, posterity. That's great. To conclude, the idea of cutting, right? De cortar, cutting with parent. Cutting in the class. In schools, right? Schools is not a good idea since my point of view. Here in this case, from my point of view, right? From, right? De mi punto de vista, from my point of view. Our bodies, or our body, needs physical activity every day, especially in children who are developing their motricity. While arts is useful to develop creative and such music. To round off, comma, right? Because it's a connector. I would like to say that all classes are important and useful during all life. Great. I love this essay. I think it's great. You know, you're learning. And here, notice that this essay, in this case, you are not taking a particular position, right? You're not defending a singular side. You're rather making a middle ground essay, or actually a third alternative essay in which to propose, you know, actually any of those subjects should be cut or eliminated, but you should continue and keep up with them by looking for other means to sustain them. That's great. I mean, I love the essay. I personally like it, but you know, I have to tell you the safest manner to take the exam, and better if you always go for taking just one position. Like better not to come up with those essays that bring a third alternative to the case, because the questions are somehow designed for you to pick up from two different options. In this case, it was cutting art or cutting sports, right? So it's always better and safer, as I said, to go for one of those options, not to use a third alternative or a middle ground as a middle ground essay or answer, because reviewers, when they look at these essays, they are kind of confused sometimes with regard to what your position was. And I think that what they're really looking for is students who are able to, as I said, defend ideas, or able to speak up to show what they think and to somehow defend it and sustain in a reasonable manner. So better if you do that. Of course, yes, if I were to qualify, I would give you 100, but the thing is that better if you always go for the safest manner to approach the exam, right? Which is, I think, taking always one of the positions they offer you. Okay, but anyways, it was a great essay. Okay, let's see how many words you got. You got 323. Fantastic. Very good. Number 8. We're about to finish, guys. Awesome. Karen's essay. To begin with, classes of physical education are a space where students can stop thinking in books, and the regular aulas. Okay, this is, yes.
Wait.
Mm-hmm.
I had bad connection with my internet, so I copy a page from Word and I put my name after the first paragraph. There is
Okay. Uh-huh.
a paragraph before that.
Okay.
that
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I got you. I
yes,
got you.
yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, Karen, for telling me. Great. So I'm going to correct it for you. Like this and like this. Great. We have all heard the phrase healthy mind, healthy body. It's a very interesting manner to start the essay. It's great. You know, here we recommend you this period, this point inserted within the quotation like that. Okay. Because normally when you are writing this manner, what Americans do is to insert quotation commas, or excuse me, punctuation symbols within the quotation. Okay, so better if you always put it within the quotation. It has been scientifically demonstrated decades ago that exercising is a necessity in the daily life of human beings. Likewise, many doctors tell their patients to do a sport to combat some illness. As a matter of fact, I believe that when schools do not have enough funding or teachers, courses in art and music should be eliminated first in physical education classes. The opinion is due to the following motives. Great. To begin with, classes of physical education are a space where students can stop thinking in books and the regular classrooms, right? Here, what you were looking for when you said aulas is classrooms, right? Start to feel the fresh air and establish strengthened here, I guess you mean, right? Strengthened bonds with their classmates. As a matter of fact, when children share their classes, or well, here you say this classes, right? Which would mean that you would use this classes. They use this to talk and forget all their problems and stay with nature. According to applicable hearsay, experts recommend that all the schools should have to give their students a time when they can clear their minds in order to have a better development as a student and as a person. Second, physical education class is the way of making children do exercise at a regular time in their lives, helping them with their health. Simplify. When my sister had problems of anxiety, doctor advised her to find sport she loves to practice at least 3 times per week. She started to do soccer, she felt better, and all the members of my family noticed that she went to those courses. She used to back more relaxing and happier. There was a more flabbergasted than that day when I saw better. And she could meet this sport in her physical education classes. Maybe she would not discover this passion if she had only art and music. Which this is a very good illustration. Very good. Top of that, in this type of classes, they can learn many abilities which are important for them in the future and even in their working lives. For instance, when people do a sport, they have to work as a team and create a feeling of competition inside. It is demonstrated that children who do exercise are more active and alert to the new challenges. To illustrate, when I started to play basketball in school, I fell in love with the sport and at the same time started to be in a competitive mood, or to be a competitive person with more energy and reflexes. Okay. To round off, I'd like to say that physical education classes are very important for the students. We can see that it has many advantages from a medical point of view and as a factor to develop themselves to the future. This way they can have their minds and bodies healthy. It's a very complete essay and it's very long too. That's great. Let's see how many words. All right, you got 450. Well, that's very good. Okay, congratulations. It's a very good quantity of words. Very good. Okay, continue. Keep it up. Very good. Okay, we were in number 8. So number 9. We're about to finish, guys. And don't worry, I'm going to finalize this one. And then I'm going to call the list. And those of you who didn't have your essays read, you're going to stay with me, okay? But the rest can go. Just give me the second to read this one. And then we can go. So let's see. It says, Karen Rojas. It has been demonstrated time ago that kids and young people who do exercises in a constant way have a better physical and mental development. However, courses like art and music also help to have a good mental development. But if we do not exercise our body, we cannot do other activities in the best way that we must do. This opinion is due to the following motives. First, doing exercise offers people a healthy life. As a matter of fact, when we do exercise, we can oxygen our blood better. And if our body does that, we can be more active in the day and feel full up of energy. Okay. According to some studies, 9 out of 10 kids and young people that had a bad day and after they did exercise, they felt happy and with more energy to continue with their activities. Exemplifying, have a little brother, 7 years old, and when he feels bad or he has a bad day, he always tells me, sister, I'm waiting for my attending classes because when I finish, I always feel good and I like to feel like this. Great. And beautiful that you're quoting as well. And very good, by the way, because you're quoting using comma, quotation comma, period within the quotation comma, and ending. Very good. In fact, I know how my brother feels about it because I have the same feeling when I had a bad day and then I do exercise. Furthermore, it is demonstrated that if we have a healthy body, we feel better in a mental way. Sometimes some children feel bad about their bodies, and this contributes to developing many physical and mental problems. Because of that, it is important that the students do exercise in a constant way. To illustrate, my friend had physical problems with her weight. She was a failure when we studied in school, and because of her problems, she avoided doing other activities, although the activities were the ones that she liked to do. Indeed, she could move on with her problem, but she always said, it's important to do exercises because we can feel good with our body and with ourselves. Beautiful. Finally, it is important to exercise our body to feel good with ourselves, especially with the students that are growing up, because it allows us to do many things with all our energy and feeling bad. You know, I have to praise here the great use you're doing of quotations and the dramatic effect this somehow bestows upon your essay. It's beautiful. Okay? It's a very good resource for all of you guys to make quotations. And talking about what your friends said, what you said in the past, what somebody you knew told you, it's a very good resource. It's very good. And yeah, I think you wrote a lot of words. See how many? So, oh, sorry. Control Z, and you got 377 words. Great, congratulations, very good essay. Let's read this final one, and then Andre and then David to stay with me. Okay, the rest of you can go. There's one more. It says the following: physical education classes, and this is Rodrigo's essays, by the way, have always been necessary and required in all institutions since the first academies began. All right, great. However, art and music classes were incorporated during the school years. Currently, both of these signatures are indispensable for children's performance at school, but physical education should not be eliminated first for several reasons. Great. Here, I guess you wanted to write down 2 points or column. It's very good. First, children. This is not necessary. Children is just another substantive. Must study all the signatures as well as distract themselves, like exercising and playing sports. Making exercise helps too much to the development and discipline children require. They need to run and move their bodies while they're growing, especially at the primary level. Children and teenagers are developing and becoming creative. On the other hand, art and music can be taught later by teachers in school. Those two signatures could need money to buy instruments and materials. Exemplifying, when I was 12 years old, my art teacher used to ask for different materials such as colors, papers, and watercolors, as the school gave us frames and brushes. Those materials had an economic amount for the school. Besides, instruments were not easy to buy for the institution because of the biggest quantity of words. Great. Furthermore, here are physical classes, right? So the sentence you write after the comma doesn't need to have a capital letter. Okay, it's very fine if you continue writing with a lowercase after the comma. Physical classes do not need extra materials or instruments that here I would say when compared, right? Because when you write then, it just seems weird when compared to art and music. The class must probably need a bowl, but the requirements are not expensive enough. When children have move and exercise their bodies, they're helping themselves and their mentality. Here's, I guess, mentality, you mean, right? And their mentality. Oh, no, and their mental health. Okay, and their mental health. To illustrate, I have many friends who enjoy exercising. They say that it is essential for students because they need to stimulate their bodies and move physically. To include, I would like to say that if a school does not have enough funding, physical classes must not be eliminated first in other subjects. Every child should enjoy moving and playing while they're studying. Sports and exercise have a big impact in our lives. Great essay, very good. Let's see what you got. So in this case, you got 306 words. You meet the minimum. Very good. Okay. Well, guys, so David and Andrea are going to stay with me. So please, before the rest of you go out, I have to congratulate you. Your essays are exponentially improving. I remember reading yesterday's essays, and although they were great, these are way better. Like seriously, you are improving a lot. Okay. So please have this little poll. Help me with it. Okay. It's a little poll, and then I'm gonna take your assistance, and then you can go. All right. And Andrea and David stay with me so that I can read their essays. Okay. So listen please to your names. It says the following. Is here present Rodrigo Omar?
Yes, teacher.
Thank you very much, Rodrigo. What about Andres Uribe? Okay, he's present. What about David
Yes,
Uribe?
I'm present, teacher. Sorry.
Thank you very much, Andres. And David too. Thank you very much. What about Karen Silvana?
Present, teacher.
Thank you very much, Karen. Thank you. What about Daniela Crespo?
Present, teacher.
Thank you, Daniela. What about Jasmine Camila?
Present, teacher.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And finally, we have Lenny Jimenez.
Present, teacher.
Thank you very much, Lenny. What about Yvonne Kana? What about Maya? All right. What about Flavia Montaño?
Present, teacher.
Thank you very much. What about Karen Ginelli?
Present, teacher.
Great. And finally, we have Lucia Sulema.
Present, teacher.
Thank you very much, Lucia. Well, guys, so the rest of you can go. Thank you very much for your assistance. And Rodrigo, and excuse me, David and Andres, please stay with me, all right? So I can check out your essays. Great, stay with me. So let's go, Andres and also David. Okay, so Andres, which essay did you write? What number? I mean,
I was writing the first one,
okay.
but I think that I didn't really finish it because I think that I missed one paragraph. So I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
Because I'm
it's
still
okay.
getting used to about all of these essays.
Mhm.
So you can really
don't worry.
read it.
No, it's okay. Don't worry, dear Andres. As you say, it's a matter of practice and familiarization, right? So don't worry. Just let me continue with your essay. So it says the following. When schools do not have enough funding or teachers, some people think physical education classes. Okay, so this is the question. So it says, it has been proven that keeping physical activities is the best way to keep our body healthy. Physical education classes are indispensable for a growing child. Therefore, it's not an option to eliminate a class that will give the children a healthy life, right? So this half, I guess, was a blunder, a healthy life. Given these reasons here, these, right, with the plural one, these reasons, I would say that, and here, comma, I would say that in 2 points. First, physical education classes, this is necessary. Physical education classes, give in this case, right? Because you're talking about classes in plural, give children good habits by making them to practice different kinds of sports, and this will make them get used at having a healthy life. As a matter of fact, great. So notice that every single time you write a connector, like this one, right? As a matter of fact, you always use a comma after it. So it's period, the connector, and then the comma. Okay? As a matter of fact, comma, in these classes, children improve and develop their motor skills when they are working out and practicing how to do in the right way the exercises. On top of that, here once again, so whenever you write a connector, it always goes before a comma. Okay, on top of that, which is a connector, right? Before a comma. We all know that obesity in children, okay, here, double E or I, is a current problem in society. And I think that it might be because since they are kids, teachers and schools don't educate them, here, educate them to have an active life. Exemplify, when I was a child, I used to have a problem at playing sports due to okay, here instead of using do, I will use given that, okay, instead of do, given that at that age, my parents and teachers didn't really teach me that making exercise will make my life healthier. That I was always, okay, here I guess you mean that's why I always say, right? Period. So that is why I always say that having here, right? That having, yeah, it's fine. That is like the long way. Having an active life. That is why I always say that having an active life since when we are kids. Okay, since we are kids, this one is not necessary. Since we are kids, it's the best decision that we can. Right, fantastic. To conclude, it's been demonstrated here. This is next sentence you write after a comma doesn't necessarily have to be a capital letter. Okay, just after periods. When you write periods, the next sentence must use capital letter, yes or yes. Nonetheless, when you write comma or semicolon, it's not an obligation. Just in case you have substantives or something like that, at that time you use, of course, capital letters. But normally sentences that go after a comma or semicolon, they do not use capital letter. Okay. To conclude, it's being demonstrated that it's really important to do exercise to keep our body and keep the growing kids safe and healthy. Beautiful. It's a great essay, especially because you just learn how to do it and you've been following the template very well. And it's great. Let's see how many words you got. So you got, in this case, 273 words. So you're about to reach the minimum. Fantastic. And as I say, when you practice a second one, a third one, a fourth one, you're going to get used to it and everything is going to be super natural. Okay, great. So who goes next? David, which one was your essay?
Mine was fourth.
Okay, number 4. So let's go to number 4. Okay, here I have it. The art has always been a way, I guess I mean here, right? A way to show how people feel. It's for a lot of people what fills their heart. Okay, so here I would close the sentence, right? Because here you say according to a newspaper, comma, because this will be a connector according to a newspaper. And connectors, as I say, they always go after a period using capital letter and before a comma. Okay, that's how you use connectors. Connectors always go after a period, capital letter, and before a comma. Okay, so according to a newspaper, schools always schools have always been, right? They have always been supporting sports for their own beneficence. Okay. Yeah, this word is a little bit, unorthodox. Better if you use as benefit, for your own benefit. In fact, if I had here, as I said to Andres, if in this case would be unnecessarily written with capital letter because sentences after commas normally go without capital letter. Okay. So in fact, if I had to choose for one to eliminate between sports and art, I would totally go for arts. Fantastic. First, the sports are just a way to create social problems in the school. As a matter of fact, sports create status positions between young athletes who start to think they have some right to make other students feel bad. Great, but it's a very good argument, by the way. On top of that, the school headmasters do not take control of this. Most of them even just want their schools to be known for their team sports. For their team sports in this case. Yeah, for their team sports, okay, it's fine. Exemplifying, I've felt this by myself. When I was at school, sports made me feel insecure about myself, but not because I didn't like them. It was because teachers just care for good athletes. Good is a very good illustration. Furthermore, I feel like sports just keeps feeding the competitive skills, and sometimes it is too much even for their team members. Plus, some athletes, just get stuck in sports that don't let them go through different hobbies they could like. To illustrate, my friend was one of the extreme athletes in school. Everybody created high expectations for him. This ended him hating what he used to love doing. Okay. Here, I will use semicolon instead of comma, because if you think about this sentence, like all of this is an independent sentence, right? This sentence will be correct even without this one. So whenever you have these two independent sentences and you want to separate them, although they are connected somehow, you can always use a semicolon instead of a comma. When you have two independent sentences that anyways are connected somehow. To conclude, I will go for sports if the school were going to get rid of one. It is just sadly that some schools just focus on sports as a way to make them look better, to make themselves look better. To round off, comma, right, connector, I'd like to say that it is advisable that lots of future problems will be dismissed if only the educational system tries to improve for change. Great, it's a beautiful essay too. It's very good, and both of you did a great job, especially because you just learned how to do this, but you've been following very well the template. So you got, in this case, 294 words. You're about to reach the minimum. Fantastic. Well, guys, so I can just congratulate you. It was fantastic. And as I say, tomorrow we're going to continue practicing this. So I see you tomorrow in order to continue with our practices. And thank you very much then for your time.
Thank you, teacher. So, sorry to say a lot of more time for us.
No, my pleasure. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. See you. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.